Western Athletic Conference Commissioner Brian Thornton was the featured speaker during the WAC's Leadership and Development 101 workshop with student athletes this past Sunday. For Commissioner Thornton, this was an opportunity to directly connect with student athletes and share his story.
So without further ado, I want to start off tonight's workshop with turning it over to Commissioner Thornton to welcome the group.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see everybody's face.
As a former student athlete, a former coach, somebody that's been around college athletics for almost 2 decades, I wanted to share my experiences with our student athletes.
Brian Thornton's path to becoming WAC commissioner started as a Division I basketball player at both Vanderbilt and Xavier. He went on to play professionally in Germany before becoming a coach and later working for the NCAA and the American Athletic Conference. On November 4th of 2021, Thornton was named WAC commissioner.
From my standpoint, I think that I do have a story that connects with a lot of those individuals, especially the ones that want to be in leadership roles down the road. And my situation certainly wasn't a smooth line. I had injuries, I transferred, I was hurt. And so I think those are things that resonate with all of our student athletes, because nobody's path is perfect. These are emerging leaders. These are emerging student athletes that are our leadership future. And I think the more that they can hear from somebody and being authentic and being genuine and hearing a true story that they can connect to, I think that puts them in position to be vulnerable when they're talking to the next person or when they're preparing for the next phase of their professional lives.
At the end of the session, Thornton fielded many questions from student athletes about leadership and dealing with adversity.
I was just kind of wondering, what's the best way that you kind of open yourself up to criticism and really getting feedback from the people you serve on how to serve better? Like, what way do you open that up to your people?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think it's a really good one. In my role, I work hand in hand with our athletic directors, and I work for our presidents. That's who I report to. And then obviously we have our staff as well. I think it's always important to realize that you don't always have the right answer.
I go to a UTRGV, and I'm actually a basketball player myself. And injuries are always a big part of a lot of people's careers, and it makes or breaks some careers. So I just wanted to know, like, what were some of the ways that you kind of cope positively? What were some of the ways that you just kept yourself going through the hard times?
Isaiah, man, that's a great one. I'll take you back a little bit to my senior year. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was playing against LaSalle University on February 11th of 2006. I was having a fantastic year, as I said, and a guy dove into my leg accidentally and broke my leg. And as I laid there on the ground, I knew that I was not going to play another basketball game at Xavier University. And I wasn't sure if I was going to play another basketball game, quite honestly. I looked at my leg; it was hanging, it was kind of dangling, and I wasn't sure what was next. I didn't cry at that point. I cried later, but it was the shock of, I've been doing this for 18 years, and this might be the end.
Thornton shared many of his own personal stories, and he also emphasized the role student athletes play in the world of college athletics.
The landscape is constantly changing, but the student athletes are who we're here to serve. And I know sometimes that gets a little bit lost in realignment or name, image, and likeness, or the decisions at the national level or even at the institutional or conference level. But ultimately, we are about trying to provide an elite experience for our student athletes, both athletically, academically, socially, and preparing them for the next chapters of their lives.
This was the first of the WAC Career and Leadership Professional Development Series. The next one will be in November, featuring a guest from Stephen F. Austin. For the WAC, I'm Kendra Sheehan.